Time now for the Daily Answer, sponsored by Salem Surround on The Answer Now TV.
Yeah, hello, Larry. Hey, I saw Joy Reid. I think she was kicked off, if I'm correct, her SNBC show. But she came out today, I guess, in a podcast and said that the Christmas song Jingle Bells is racist because they're laughing in the one-horse open sleigh, which means it has to be somebody black laughing.
Yeah, Craig, I heard about it. And you're right. She was fired from her program on MSNBC Hee Haw. Here's what she's saying. She said that the person that wrote the song in 1850, that's the year it's believed to have been written, his name is James Lord Pierpont. And he says it was done to mock black people and has its origins in minstrel shows that were popular at the time. Claims that Pierpont was harder for cash, composed one-horse open sleigh, and did so for the use of white performances wearing blackface to, quote, mock and caricature black people trying to participate in winter activities, close quote. Now, I don't know whether this is true or false, but I do know this. Out of all the things that we should be concerned about in general, and black people in particular, our focus should be on whether or not Jingle Bells is racist. Out of all the things, we've talked for years about the education inner city kids are getting K through 12. 85% black 8th graders, 13-year-old kids nationwide, can neither read nor do math at grade level. I repeat, 85% black 8th graders, 13 years old, can neither read nor do math at grade level. Now, Joy Reid went to Harvard. I presume she can read and do math at grade level. Has she talked about that? Has she talked about the black-on-black crime, homicides? Has she talked about the fact that 50% of the homicides and the homicide victims in this country are black, even though blacks are just 13% of the population? How about a little time on that? We've talked about the breakdown of the nuclear family in America in general, and particularly within the black community. How much time do people like Joy Reid spend on something like that could really perhaps focus some attention on something that really matters? And when I see things like this, whether the derivation of the song is true or false, the impact of that on an individual is what? To make them think that they're victims? For decades, studies have shown that black people have higher self-esteem than whites and much higher self-esteem than Asian Americans. So if the idea is to purge this because, after all, it hurts the self-esteem of black people don't have low self-esteem. So please, what does this do? This incessant search for something to prove how victimized we are and how discriminated we are. It's pretty sickening. And Joy Reid, for years, has gotten a pass. She had a blog in the mid-2000s where she ridiculed gays, said she hated the sight of watching two men kiss, said she would never see the movie Brokeback Mountain because it disgusted her. She accused Ann Compton of being a lesbian. I mean, said things that the most ardent homophobe would say. And she denied that she wrote them, claimed that she had been hacked. NBC, her then employer, hired a forensic expert to look at whether or not she'd been hacked. She hadn't been. She tearfully apologized. Said, "I don't know who that was. It wasn't me. How do you survive that? If Donald Trump, circa 2005, 2006, had said those kinds of things about gays, given the lies used to argue that Donald Trump is a racist or a sexist or a homophobe, he can never live it down. But she goes on TV, she cries and says, I still don't believe that I wrote them. I don't know who that person is. Really? said the governor and senator of Florida, Christ, was secretly gay. He's not. Got away with it. By the way, she's also a 9/11 truther. Claims 9/11 was an inside job. So the woman who claims 9/11 is an inside job, the woman who accused Ann Coulter of being gay, she's not. The woman who made all sorts of homophobic comments is now lecturing us about how racist Jingle Bells is, and we should be concerned about that. What's the next step? No more singing of Jingle Bells? Purging that from the list of Christmas carols? This is where you spend your time and your energy. Pretty disgusting. Pretty pathetic.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel. Stay informed anytime, anywhere with the Salem News Channel and 9:30 a.m. TheAnswer.com. This has been The Daily Answer, sponsored by Salem Surround on The Answer Now TV.